Bam Adebayo will sign a max extension with the Heat. Yes! But now the Heat do not have enough cap space to fit in Giannis next offseason. And that's gotta hurt. I mean, Pat Riley perfectly planned to have enough money for Giannis. He signed dudes to one-year deals this offseason, but the pressure was just too much.
He should get his paper. He deserves it. If you're the Miami Heat, it's time to pay that man what he's worth. He deserves every single dollar. Let's get it done.
However, there are two ways the Heat can still afford the Greek Freak even with Bam's new deal. This video explains all that and says why Tyler Herro will probably be the one to lose in all this. Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and notification bells for 5 videos per week at 9 a.m. Eastern, except on days like this where we have a double upload because of big breaking news. So today's actually kind of a shorter video. I just wanted to get this up because the initial reaction to Bam's extension was this means they're out on Giannis, but it does not mean that. First off, this was 100% the correct decision from the Heat. I mean, Bam Adebayo deserves every penny of a max contract extension. He busted out this year as an all-star, their best young player, and a big reason the Heat even made the finals. Jimmy Butler recognized Bam's talent from day one. He kept saying early on he wasn't their best player, Bam was. That must have felt good too, because people outside of Miami didn't really know Bam before this year. He was stuck behind Hassan Whiteside on the depth chart at center. Bam was probably better than Whiteside even then, but the Heat made a dumb decision overpaying Hassan Whiteside, so he continued to start. After the Blazers took Whiteside's contract, Bam started and starred. 16 points a game with amazing passing, over 10 boards, a steal, and a block a night. He defended every position and said hello to the world with a playoff game-winning block on Jason Tatum. So how could the Heat possibly ask that guy to not sign an extension? I mean, anything could happen in this next year. Bam could have a career-threatening injury. He just watched other guys from his draft class like Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox even, sign a max extension. Bam comes from poverty. How could you ask this man to wait a year? Well, the reason was Giannis. The Heat had about $50 million in projected cap space next offseason. With no Bam extension, he would take up about $15 million of that money. $34.6 million left to pay Giannis or some other player the max. But with Bam's extension, he takes up $27.5 million, leaving a lot less than the max. Not even close. If Bam had waited, there's a rule that the Heat could sign Giannis or some other max player, then go over the cap to re-sign the wrong guy. But now that Bam has been extended, that can't happen. But there is actually a way to have both a max Bam and a max Giannis on the same team. There are two ways actually. One the Heat would love, and the other one they would hate. Option one is to convince the Bucks to sign and trade with Goran Dragic and Andre Iguodala. Those two players make enough money to get the deal done. That, of course, only happens if Giannis tells Milwaukee next offseason, look, I'm going to Miami anyway, might as well get something for me. Option number two is to clear cap space through a trade. They would have to get rid of a lot of players for nothing but draft picks to open up space. That means they would probably have to part with some of their best young players, including Tyler Herro. And I know Heat fans hate to hear that, but they better get used to it. There is no way the Bucks would help out the Heat and go for option number one. Why would they take on two old players on fat contracts just so the Heat don't have to give up their good young guys? If anything, the Bucks would demand Tyler Herro, Duncan Robinson, or Kendrick Nunn in that sign and trade. Bottom line, this Bam Adebayo deal probably means Tyler Herro won't be a Miami Heat player if Giannis joins. Bam and Giannis have the same agents, and they know there are ways Giannis can still get there. Several reports, including people with Heat sources, say that Herro would be on the table for a big trade like this. And honestly, I don't understand people who blast this idea. Yeah, Tyler Herro is really good, but adding Giannis raises their ceiling to championship favorites. For some reason, there's this thing about basketball fans. They are obsessed with the next big thing. They end up overvaluing rookies' potential and love to watch highlights of the next high school star. It's a lot less exciting to talk about the current star that we all know about, but Giannis is 10 times the player of Tyler Herro. Pat Riley would trade 3 Tyler Herros with a smile on his face if it meant pairing Giannis with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. So the point of this video is to tell Heat fans to settle down. Just because Bam got this deal doesn't mean you're out on Giannis. It means they'll just have to take a different route. But I still think the Heat are at the front of the line to land the Greek Freak.
Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.